For a long time, I resisted jumping into the night vision and thermal optics. Let's be honest, they're just expensive, and it seemed like something that I was going to spend a bunch of money on, and then the technology would change, and I would be stuck with something that was obsolete. The new stuff would be out, but I've got this $2, $3, $4, $7,000 optic that just wasn't as good as it was a couple of years ago. Now, I am a small business owner. I also keep a really close tabs on our family finances, and I think about things a lot of times in the cost per use perspective. So for example, how often are you going to use it, and divide that by how much it costs, and you can come up with a cost per use that helps you wrap your head around how much something's going to be. So let's say that you have a $3,000 optic and you're going to expect to use it for a couple of years, let's say 3 years, but you only use it a couple of times a year. For example, most often we're talking about hog hunting or something like that. And if you're not able to go hog hunting every month or only a couple of times a year, when you divide that number out, it makes it to where that optic could cost you $500, $600, $700 each time you use it. Now, that doesn't always make a lot of sense, and so the justification just wasn't there for me to spend a bunch of money. Now, I got lucky because due to the YouTube channel, and thank you guys for watching, due to the YouTube channel, we had a couple of companies offer to send in some thermals. Now, the very first one that I played with was a True Thermal, and it was great. It was very expensive. They let me keep it for several months, but I did have to send it back. Then more recently, we got in an ATN optic with the new X-Sight 5, which provides a pretty good value given that the price of it is just around $1,000. And so you expect to use it several times a year for a couple of years. You can get that cost per use down pretty good. My son, who is now 9, has been hunting with me several times, and we got to borrow a really nice pair of thermal binoculars. Now, for him, being able to hold up those handheld binoculars and see what I was seeing on my end of the scope really made for a completely different experience for him. Normally, it's dark, and unless he shines a green hog light out there, which we've used in the past, so unless he was shining out the green hog light, he wasn't really able to see anything. It got to the point where I would ask him to go hunting, and he would say, "Hey, do you have the thermal binoculars?" So it made a big difference for him as well. Now, right now, I am enjoying the AIM 101, which is a combination of a thermal lens and a night vision, more like the X-Sight, which is night vision and requires an IR illuminator, versus the thermal, which doesn't require the illumination. Now, the AIM 101 does a good job of combining those two things, but it's still a couple $1,000s and it's expensive. Enter the night vision binoculars. Now, this is by a company called SV Boni, and they make several high-end telescope parts. I'm not for sure how or why they started dabbling in some of the night vision stuff, but it's a really cool company that makes some really cool stuff. Lots of eyepieces and adapters and things like that for the astronomers and the high-end telescope crowd. So I was pretty confident when I got their email that this was going to be a pretty decent product. Now, once I got it in and I started using it, I made a short with my son a few weeks ago, and he's also used this in the deer blind 3 or 4 times. I've used it as well. And so I would like to do a little bit of a review on a nice budget option for someone who's looking for some night vision. Okay, focus it.
Yeah. Whoa. Dude, look at the mailbox.
Think that'll work for catching pigs?
Dude, looking at the horizon, it's so white. The grass is green, looks like blue practically.
Shine it over here in the grass in front of the mailbox right there.
Mm-hmm.
It makes that grass right there look like it's daytime, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's a shadow. And it actually looks like a daytime one. Crazy.
So that fence over there is really dark. Let's see what that fence looks like through the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's better.
That's good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It is very lightweight, very compact. It does come with straps, although we haven't been using them. And the way that it's designed, you have these two eyepieces here, except this screen is actually what you're looking at. So the eyepieces go out, and they're not actually eyepieces. Given that it is night vision, we don't actually need two of them. So one of them is actually the night vision lens. That's this one over here. You got an adjustment for focus. And this side is the IR illuminator. It is a nice big screen that really allows you to see well. I wanted to use this several times before I posted a review on it because the price of this right now is under $60, I believe. Normally they're in the $75, $80 range. We've used them around the yard. We've been able to see rabbits. We even caught a possum with them, and it does have the ability to record both photos and video. And it is actually a 4K video, which is pretty high end, and a 36 megapixels for the camera. I mentioned the IR illuminator. I believe there's 6 or 7 levels that you can adjust here with this top button. That allows you to throw more IR downrange. And the night vision is really dependent upon the IR illuminator. The ATN X sight that we have on the 338 Spectre, it actually comes with a giant IR illuminator. And I was using that as a handheld along with the IR illuminator on here and the night vision, and this was just crystal clear. It really is impressive what a lightweight, inexpensive option can give you if you're looking for some night vision. Now, obviously, this is not a scope. This is going to be for recreational use, or like I mentioned, how we've been using it. It's just kind of fun to maybe take camping or see what's going on in the backyard if you don't have any lights. If you haven't played with night vision, I would recommend that you maybe check this out. It seems like a well-made product that's going to last us for a while. It's rechargeable. The memory and the recharging are all internal. It has worked flawlessly for us, and it is a dedicated piece to my hunting bag because if I'm taking my son, he has to have his own pair of binoculars. So I'm now a big fan of night vision. I haven't quite got myself a helmet with a flip down. All that stuff is pretty expensive, but maybe someday we'll get there. If you're looking to kind of see in the dark, this would be a great way to do it. Even if you're just going to play with your family in the backyard, take it camping or something like that, I think it would be a lot of fun. Thanks to SV Boney, they actually have another product that they're going to send out, and I'm excited to review that one as well. Thank you guys for watching as always, and we'll see you next time.